I haven't been able to breathe properly since April, because my mother died, and since then I found it difficult to enjoy even the little things. For instance, enjoying the nice weather, going for a walk, sitting comfortably in a cafe and drink a latte macchiato. Because why be happy about it if I can no longer share it with a certain person who was one of the most important people in my life. We managed to get my mother out of the hospital because she absolutely wanted to die at home. For about 2 weeks, nurses, her life partner and I tried everything to make her as comfortable as possible. In the end, my mother needed 4 days to die. During the time I couldn't hold my dying mother's hand, I worked in her guest house because someone had to continue the business until her estate was settled. And who could do that better than me? Don't get me wrong, but I worked in my mother's guest house since I was a teenager. It's a family business, if you like. So when other children were at the beach in summer, I cleaned the rooms or the yard, rented out beach chairs or bicycles. But due to the lack of staff in the last years, everything has been reduced. No more rentals, no breakfast either. There are 10 residential units, apartments and studios. But nevertheless, the work still has to be done. And you wouldn't believe what you can do when you see it. You have to match it somehow. I could never imagine combing my mother's hair, putting cream on her face, or rubbing body lotion on her body. But you wouldn't believe what you are capable of as a human being at certain moments. Until the beginning of October, I actually did everything on my own. My brother moved the lawn sometimes and helped me with repairs, but actually I did everything on my own. The booking, the office work, the cleaning and keeping the yard clean. Besides, I also organized my mother's burial at sea and the liquidation of her house. Since April, actually the end of March, I haven't had a day off. Sometimes I started work at 5 in the morning and finished it at 7 in the evening. Admittedly, the good thing about it was that I didn't think much about my mother and gave myself over to this welcome distraction. The estate administration is almost finished and my brother wants to continue my mother's business. I help him with that. I still work every day, usually until noon, sometimes a few hours, and advise him. Since he hasn't been as involved in the work of a guest house as I have in recent years, I'm introducing him to this work, and hopefully in a few months I won't be doing anything at all. I've worked more than enough in my mother's guest house over the past 34 years, I can tell you. So, and now that I have more time for myself, I notice how difficult it is for me to concentrate on myself. As you can see, even refreshing a palette is a big effort for me. And then in July, no, in June, it was in June, when I tried to record a vlog, it also went wrong. I just wasn't ready yet. But see for yourself.
And as I was responsible for the funeral, for, organize all the stuff that has to be done, and someone died. I also have now her business next to my business, and it means I'm so busy right now. And today is the first day where I have half a day, the time for myself. Volcano number 3, the videos for Patreon are now finished. I still have to, pictures are taken, but I still have to adjust them a bit. And this is when it comes to Volcano number 3. Today I still want to frame 2 paintings in such a shadow cap frames that I bought for my paintings. And now it's 4 p.m. so I still have a few hours for myself. and I thought it's time for a new vlog. Yes, show must go on, and yes, I don't want to become or get emotional here, no. So I just continue working. And yes, when I did have a half day off, I was mostly only able to do simple things that didn't require me to concentrate so much. Like putting paintings in frames and recording reels, posting here and there on Instagram or TikTok, and to say the word, hey, I'm still alive. So much to the first frame. When it comes to the painting, yes, as I said, it's Boy Dixie #1. I painted in on linen, but this actually doesn't matter if you use cotton or linen canvas, because it's a mixed media painting. It makes a difference when you paint with oil paint. So camera switched off, I don't know when. But yes, so again the same glue. I'm afraid this won't work. Perhaps at the lower edge. Perhaps also here a bit, but the rest of the edges, no, it won't work. But it's pretty in such a frame. Yes. In all the months since April, I was only able to paint one afternoon. And that was for the painting sales #1. More burnt umber. Prussian blue, the dark blue. Just some lines. And more gel.
In July I had a nice experience, I must say this. Yes, this was very, very good. Someone bought the painting Pink Desert. I was very happy about that, and it was like, you can say, a small ray of light in the darkness, yes. In August I was then able to frame 2 more paintings, Arctic number 2 and Volcano number 2.
Sie mich zu erschießen. Die Chance auf einen Fangaustausch war natürlich kleiner als die Chance auf Erschießen. Der Gefangenenaustausch war für den Deutsch-Russen zu einfach zu sein. Als ich dann Scholz getroffen habe, habe ich ihm persönlich gesagt, dass ich ihm sehr dankbar bin, dass er uns
And again, a month later, I wanted to frame my painting Energy number 4, but that didn't work. I was able to put the frame together, but then when I wanted to paint the frame with acrylic paint, it didn't work. I made up sprayed too much paint on it here and there, or too little. The frame looks terrible, and I have no idea if it can still be saved, but we will see. So now we have October, and you would think I could get going, but at the beginning of October I caught a cold, which cost me my free afternoons, because I spent them in the bed. Now we have almost end of October, and everything should be okay, but that pressure on my chest is back. I felt it for the first time when my mother was dying. Every time I drove like an idiot from the guest house to my mother's house, for fear of missing the certain moment. That moment when she breathes for the last time. And there was this pressure. I don't know if you know what it's like. You have to function at all costs, and you are really scared of not being able to do it. But this fear isn't a motivator. No, it drags you down and you lacks a drive. It's like the engine doesn't start. Yes, it's like I said, or how I titled this vlog. When life is a burden on your chest. See you next time, Doreen.